The Galactic Council was an immense architectural structure located at the heart of Nebra Prime, a neutral planet with an atmosphere shimmering in the blue light from the energy beacon in its orbit. Founded thousands of years ago, the Council was the gathering place for the greatest minds and the most powerful leaders from hundreds of civilizations across the galaxy. The main hall, where the most important meetings took place, was a vast circular auditorium with rows of seats arranged in tiers, reserved for different species. Lisa Carter, the young representative from Earth, sat on the lowest tier, close to the center. Earth, with its young yet promising civilization, had to work tirelessly to prove its worth before the galactic powers such as Zykara and Vordax Prime. Today, the atmosphere in the hall was more tense than usual. The meeting revolved around the ownership of a neutral space zone, an area full of energy harvesting potential but also hazardous due to unpredictable plasma storms. Fiery debates erupted as representatives from Vordax Prime and Gainathon continuously accused each other of illegal resource exploitation. Lisa sat silently, observing, trying to grasp each argument. She knew that Earth's role in this meeting wasn't to side with anyone but to offer a balanced solution. But against the overwhelming presence of powerful civilizations, she felt like a tiny boat adrift on a stormy ocean. Suddenly, the main door to the hall opened, and an almost complete silence fell over the room. Nabor, the powerful representative from Zykara, entered with a regal stride. Beside him was Volkra, the symbolic creature of his planet, standing over 2 meters tall, with fur that gleamed like silver moonlight and eyes burning red like 2 fiery gems. Each step Volkra took made the floor tremble slightly, as if it carried the strength of the entire Zykara planet. Lisa turned her head towards Volkra, and in that moment, her gaze met the creature's. A strange sensation washed over her, as if time had stopped. In those fiery red eyes, she saw not only fierceness and authority but something deeper, a memory from a distant past she could not explain. The other representatives in the hall, from the towering beings with metallic skin to the ethereal shapes like shadows, all bowed their heads before Volkra. This creature was not just a symbol, but a living weapon, capable of destroying an entire fleet in an instant. But Lisa, with either courage or naivete, did not bow. She kept her gaze locked with Volkra's and even broke the silence with a bold question, "May I touch it?" The hall froze. Whispers erupted briefly, only to be quickly silenced by Nabor's stern gaze. He furrowed his brow and looked directly at Lisa. "Don't you know Volkra is our sacred symbol? Touching it is not only an offense, but it could threaten your life." Lisa smiled, taking a step forward, her eyes alight with determination. "I believe trust is the foundation of every relationship. If we don't dare to step forward, how can we understand each other? How can we build peace if we always keep our distance?" Lisa's words stunned the entire hall. Veteran representatives, who were accustomed to rigid diplomacy, never expected a young representative from Earth to challenge Nabor, known as the invulnerable one in the council. Nabor stared at Lisa intently, as if evaluating her. His eyes flickered with a mixture of curiosity and displeasure. Volkra, standing beside him, growled deeply, a sound so profound it made the air heavier. But Lisa did not back down. "Very well," Nabor said after a moment of thought. His voice was cold but full of authority. "If you dare, I will not stop you. But remember, Volkra is no ordinary creature. It will not forgive the weak or the deceitful." Lisa took a deep breath and stepped closer to Volkra. All eyes in the hall were on her, some filled with doubt, others with silent admiration. Volkra growled even louder, its sound a final warning. But Lisa did not stop. She extended her hand slowly and carefully, as if comforting a wild animal. "It's okay," she whispered, her voice soft but resolute. "I don't mean to harm you." Volkra stopped growling. Instead, it lowered its head, allowing Lisa's hand to touch its silver fur. A sensation of softness yet immense strength spread from her fingertips. The entire hall held its breath. Nabor couldn't hide his astonishment, and a flicker of emotion appeared on his face. This was the first time in history that Volkra had accepted a being from outside Zykara. Volkra's gesture was not just acceptance, but a silent declaration. Lisa was not only the representative of Earth but could also be the bridge for a new era between civilizations across the galaxy. The Galactic Council, once a symbol of division and competition, might have just witnessed the beginning of a new chapter, with a young, courageous human at its center. In the solemn space of the council hall, Nabor's decision created a significant turning point. His words echoed in the air like a challenge: "If you dare try, I will not stop you. But remember, Volkra never forgives the weak." His words sent a shiver through the other representatives. Volkra, the creature revered on the planet Zykara, had never allowed anyone outside its own species to come close. Many had tried and failed miserably. Volkra was not only a symbol of power but also a measure of courage and sincerity. Lisa, meanwhile, showed no sign of fear. She knew that she was stepping into a challenge that, if failed, would not only harm her but also damage Earth's standing in the Council. But she believed that sincerity could break down any barrier, even the most terrifying ones. She took slow steps toward Volkra, keeping her eyes fixed on the towering creature in front of her. Volkra growled softly, its deep, powerful sound rumbling like thunder in a storm. Its silver fur bristled, as if to warn her. But Lisa did not stop. Some representatives whispered to each other, their gazes a mix of surprise and doubt. "Is she out of her mind?" whispered a representative from Kaldhar. Even the best warriors of Zykara wouldn't dare face Volkra directly. However, Nabor's expression showed something different. He could not hide his curiosity. This was not the first time he had seen someone attempt to approach Volkra, but no one had done it with the calm demeanor Lisa had. Lisa stopped just a step away from Volkra. She bent slightly, maintaining a respectful distance but still holding her confident gaze. She extended her hand, speaking softly but firmly, "It's okay. I don't intend to harm you." Volkra, surprisingly, stopped growling. Its fiery red eyes stared at Lisa, as if evaluating her. The entire hall held its breath. This was the decisive moment. Lisa felt the heavy breath of Volkra, like a hot wind brushing against her face. But instead of fear, she calmed her mind and focused on her feelings. "You're not a monster. You just need to be understood," she whispered, her voice just loud enough for Volkra to hear. And then, a miracle happened. Volkra slowly lowered its head, allowing its snout to touch Lisa's outstretched hand. Her hand trembled slightly, but she did not pull back. The silver fur of Volkra was warm, soft, but full of power. The hall erupted in whispers of disbelief. Several representatives stood up, their eyes fixed on the scene before them. Even Nabor could not conceal his amazement, his gaze filled with a mix of surprise and admiration. "Unbelievable!" he murmured, his voice so low it was only audible to himself. Volkra not only accepted Lisa, it lowered its head even further, as a sign of submission. This had never happened before. Volkra, who had never bowed to anyone, was now bowing to a representative from Earth. "What does this mean?" whispered a representative from the planet Gainethon, their face still showing confusion. Nabor stepped forward, his powerful voice ringing out, "It means that Volkra has recognized her sincerity. It also means that we, this council, need to reconsider how we view Earth." Lisa stood up, turning to look at Nabor. Her gaze was full of confidence, but not arrogance. "Volkra's acceptance is not just for me. It is for all of us, if we dare to trust and understand each other." The hall fell into silence. Lisa's words were not just a statement, they were a challenge to everyone in the room. After a moment, Nabor smiled faintly. "Perhaps you are not just Earth's representative. You are also the one reminding us what truly matters in this council." A round of applause broke out, small but strong, from a distant corner of the hall. It was from the representative of Andros, one of the oldest and most prestigious civilizations. The applause spread, and soon the entire hall stood and clapped in appreciation of Lisa. Lisa bowed her head in thanks, but in her heart, she knew this was just the beginning. Touching Volkra was not the final victory, it was just the first step in a long and challenging journey to bring true peace to the universe. Lisa's bold and successful action with Volkra had caused many representatives of the Galactic Council to rethink their view of Earth. However, Nabor, a seasoned warrior and powerful representative from Zykara, remained skeptical. For him, a single moment could not prove the true nature of a person. He decided to subject Lisa and Volkra to a series of challenges to prove that their bond was not just a stroke of luck. "You have shown courage," Nabor declared before the entire council, "but to earn true trust, you must overcome challenges that no one else dares face." Lisa nodded in agreement, her gaze unwavering. "I don't need to prove anything to you, but to the entire universe, that cooperation between species is possible." The first trial took place on the planet Garos, famous for its terrifying sound storms. The powerful sound waves could cause neurological disturbances, disorientation, and even break the minds of creatures who weren't well prepared. Lisa and Volkra's mission was to navigate through the natural sound maze, a vast area with rocks emitting constantly changing sounds. At the center of the maze, they had to find and retrieve the Genesis Flame, a glowing stone that contained an incredibly precious source of life energy, symbolizing strength and life. Before they began, Nabor looked at Lisa and said, "Remember, this maze doesn't just test physical strength, but mental resilience. Volkra may have superior strength, but that strength will be useless if your mind falters." Lisa, although feeling immense pressure, remained confident. She placed her hand on Volkra's silver fur as a reminder that they were a team. Volkra lowered its head slightly, as if in agreement. As they entered the maze, Lisa quickly noticed its strangeness. The echoes from the stone walls were not ordinary sounds but seemed like whispers, screams, and sometimes even cold laughter reverberating inside her head. Each sound appeared to have the ability to distract or evoke deep, painful memories. Volkra sensed Lisa's instability. It spread its large wings, forming a natural shield. Its silver fur emitted a faint light, soothing some of the chaotic sound waves surrounding them. "Thank you, my friend," Lisa whispered, her eyes gleaming with gratitude. As they ventured deeper into the maze, the sound storms grew fiercer. Volkra used its massive wings to shield them from the strongest sound waves while Lisa struggled to keep her mind focused. Lisa quickly realized that the map provided by the council was useless here. Every turn was altered by the sound waves. She closed her eyes, listening to the echoes of the environment around her and let her intuition guide her. "Go this way," she said, her hand gently guiding Volkra. Volkra, as if sensing Lisa's trust, followed her direction without hesitation. They moved through narrow paths, avoiding rocks emitting sound waves that disrupted their nerves. Once, they faced a sudden rock slide as a powerful sound wave shook the entire area. Volkra charged forward, using its body to shield Lisa. She fell to the ground, her heart pounding, but when she looked up and saw Volkra standing firm like a living shield, she felt a surge of inspiration. "We can do this. We are a team," she whispered. After hours of struggling against nature, Lisa and Volkra reached the center of the maze. There, a wondrous sight appeared. The Genesis Flame stone hovered in midair, radiating brilliant light that filled the entire area. However, Lisa knew that the trial was not over. A colossal creature with a misty black body surrounded the stone. It was the guardian deity, the protector of the stone from those deemed unworthy. The creature let out a roaring growl, "Only those who are worthy may touch the source of life. How will you prove yourself?" Lisa stepped forward, facing the creature. "I am not here for myself. I am here to prove that we can overcome our differences to survive and thrive together." The creature stared at Volkra, as if testing Lisa's words. Volkra growled softly, stepping forward and standing beside Lisa, affirming that they were a team. After what felt like an eternity, the guardian deity retreated, leaving the stone within reach of Lisa. She picked up the stone, feeling the immense heat and energy emanating from it. A sense of peace spread through her, as if the entire planet of Garos could feel the change. When Lisa and Volkra returned to the council with the stone in hand, no one spoke for a moment. The brilliant light from the stone illuminated the entire chamber, symbolizing the success of the first trial. Nabor, standing at the front, looked at Lisa with a mixture of respect and curiosity. You have proven that you are worthy of passing the first trial. But there are many more challenges awaiting. Do you have the strength to continue? Lisa answered without hesitation, I am ready. Not for myself, but for the future of all of us. The entire chamber erupted in applause, not just to congratulate her, but to recognize the impending change in the way they saw each other. The second challenge on the planet Narox is considered one of the most dangerous challenges in the history of the Galactic Council. This planet is infamous for its treacherous terrain, bottomless dark ravines, and the predatory creatures lurking in wait. Lisa and Volkra's task was to cross a fragile stone bridge suspended above one of the planet's most terrifying chasms, where the howling winds sounded like the roar of demons. When Lisa set foot on Narox, she immediately felt the oppressive atmosphere of the planet. The sky was always overcast, with dim light piercing through the thick clouds, and the cold air made every step feel heavier. Are you sure you want to continue? Nabor asked with a serious expression. Lisa looked at him, her gaze unwavering. We've overcome the labyrinth of sounds. A bridge won't stop us. Volkra stood beside her, his silver wings reflecting the faint light from the sky, showing full support for her. The stone bridge they had to cross was over 200 meters long, with a width barely enough for one person to walk. Below the bridge was the bottomless abyss, with howling winds constantly screaming as if they wanted to sweep everything away in their path. Lisa knew well that even the smallest mistake would lead to a catastrophic end. Lisa and Volkra stepped onto the bridge, each step taken with caution. Lisa kept her balance, her eyes focused on the path ahead, while Volkra walked behind her, his wings ready to spread at any moment to react to unforeseen circumstances. The stones on the bridge were more unstable than she had imagined. Some of the rocks wobbled as she stepped on them, making chilling sounds. Volkra growled softly, reminding Lisa that they needed to move faster before the bridge collapsed. When they reached the halfway point, the wind suddenly grew stronger, enough to shake the bridge. Lisa felt a cold shiver run down her spine. Below, deep in the chasm, the glowing red eyes of predatory creatures began to appear. They're waiting for us to fall, Lisa whispered, sweat dripping from her forehead. As Lisa took another step, a stone suddenly detached from the bridge and fell. She staggered, her hand flailing to grab onto something, but the strong wind blew her off balance. For a brief moment, Lisa felt as though she was falling freely into the endless darkness. Volkra, without hesitation, rushed forward. He used his massive wings to shield the wind and dove downward with terrifying speed. His eyes, shining like stars, were completely focused on Lisa, and in an instant, his powerful claws grabbed her hand. They both fell, but Volkra quickly spread his wings to slow their descent. The wind howled fiercely around them, as if trying to fight against Volkra's efforts. The creatures below in the abyss began to stir, their glowing red eyes growing nearer. Fly up! Hurry, Volkra! Lisa shouted, her voice filled with fear. Volkra roared, his wings flapping powerfully, creating whirlwinds that pushed them upward. In a breathtaking move, he soared out of the chasm and landed safely on the other side of the bridge, where solid ground awaited. Lisa collapsed onto the ground, panting. She turned to Volkra, her eyes filled with deep gratitude. You're not just a teammate, Volkra. You're my protector, the reason I'm still alive. Volkra bowed his head, his eyes gentler, as if he understood Lisa's words. Nabor, standing from a distance, had witnessed the entire event and couldn't hide his surprise. Only those who truly trust and are trusted can survive that challenge, he muttered. This challenge was not merely a test of courage or strength. It was a clear demonstration of the connection between Lisa and Volkra. The stone bridge symbolized the fragility of relationships between species in the galaxy. Without absolute trust in one another, they would never have crossed the abyss of doubt and fear. This challenge also showed that Lisa didn't just rely on Volkra's help, she had also given him a reason to fight. Their perfect coordination wasn't the result of coincidence but the harmony of will and soul. Upon returning from the planet Narax, Lisa and Volkra were greeted by representatives of the council. Some began to look at her with respect, while others remained skeptical. Nabor stepped forward. You've proven your resolve, but there are more challenges ahead. Are you ready? Lisa stood tall, her gaze as steady as steel. I'm ready for any challenge. I won't stop until Earth is recognized. Volkra, standing beside her, let out a low growl, as if to affirm his agreement. The Galactic Council gathered once more, this time with no skepticism or dismissive attitude toward Lisa and Volkra. From the trials she had overcome, Lisa had not only demonstrated courage but also shown an extraordinary bond with a powerful and proud creature like Volkra. For the Council, this was an achievement beyond expectations. Nabor, with his old but keen eyes, stared intently at Lisa. The image of the young girl from a small planet standing boldly among the powerful representatives of galactic civilizations moved him deeply. Lisa, you have accomplished what even our bravest warriors could not. Not only have you passed the trials, but you have also changed how we view Earth and its people, Nabor declared, his voice resonating throughout the hall. Nabor's words caused the entire hall to fall silent. Those who had once doubted Lisa could no longer deny the undeniable truth. Earth, once considered a young and weak planet, now had its place on the galactic map, thanks to Lisa's tireless efforts. But what makes me truly recognize you is not just those victories, Nabor continued. You possess a rare ability that very few in this galaxy have, the ability to see through the essence of everything. You do not treat Volkra as a tool or a means to an end. You see it as a companion, a true friend. Lisa bowed her head, her eyes sparkling with joy and gratitude. She understood that these words were not just for her, but also recognition for Volkra. Volkra, standing beside Lisa, lowered its head, letting out a small but meaningful growl. It was not the growl of a wild creature, but of unity and understanding. Nabor stepped up to the podium where a three-dimensional map of the galaxy was displayed. He pointed to the location of Earth and the planet Zykara, two tiny dots on the vast cosmic map. To honor what you have done, we will establish a new cooperation agreement between Earth and Zykara, he declared. Earth will no longer be isolated. Other planets in the galaxy will be responsible for supporting and guiding you in exchange for your contributions in areas where you excel. Nabor's declaration was met with a resounding applause. This was a historic moment, not only for Lisa but for all of humanity. As the meeting ended, Lisa turned to Volkra. We've done it? Will you return to Zykara? Volkra looked at her, its eyes reflecting the entire universe. It stepped closer, lowering its head so Lisa could place her hand on its forehead. The warmth from the giant creature spread through her palm. Nabor, witnessing this, approached. Volkra is a free creature. It can choose what it desires. Volkra let out a low growl, turning its head to look at Lisa. She understood that this was the answer. It will stay with you, Nabor said, unable to hide his surprise. It's rare for a creature like Volkra to choose to be a lifelong companion to another being. This only further affirms that the bond between the two of you is something special. Lisa smiled, placing both hands on Volkra's forehead. Thank you. Together, we will explore even greater wonders. Nabor's recognition was not just a personal reward for Lisa. It symbolized a profound shift in how galactic civilizations viewed Earth. This small planet was no longer a faint blip on the cosmic map but had become part of the galactic community, with its own values and potential. For Lisa, this was an important milestone, but not the end. She understood that the true challenge still lay ahead: how to protect and grow this relationship and ensure that Earth would become a trustworthy partner in the galaxy. With its loyalty and strength, Volkra would be an indispensable companion on that journey. The end of one chapter, the beginning of another journey. As Lisa and Volkra left the hall, all eyes were on them. In those eyes, there was no longer doubt, but hope and respect. Lisa's footsteps echoed down the long corridor, a reminder that her journey had only just begun. With Nabor's recognition, she was not only representing Earth but also timeless values: courage, loyalty, and belief in the good. Volkra, walking slowly beside her, let out a small growl, as if to remind her that they would never be alone in any challenge ahead. Together, they had written a new chapter in history, and ahead lay legendary stories yet to be explored. The planet Zykara witnessed a historic event. The story of Lisa and Volkra, two individuals who seemed to have nothing in common, had now become a symbol of cooperation between different races across the universe. The bond between a human from Earth and a supreme being from Zykara had broken old prejudices, sparking a new hope for a peaceful and prosperous future. Immediately after the Earth-Zykara Treaty was signed, leaders from other planets in the Galactic Council arrived to congratulate and strongly support this new relationship. Lisa, with her intelligence and determination, had not only overcome the challenges but also become a representative of the trust between distant civilizations. Earth, once considered a small and insignificant planet in the eyes of advanced civilizations, had now become an indispensable element in the decision-making of the Council. Lisa, with her talents and qualities, was tasked with establishing stronger diplomatic links between planets. She was not only a representative of Earth but also a bridge between races, helping to dismantle cultural barriers and suspicions. The story of Lisa and Volkra not only changed how other civilizations viewed humans but also became a source of inspiration for millions of beings across the galaxy. Races that once hated and mistrusted each other now began to believe in the power of cooperation. Trade agreements between planets flourished, joint military forces were formed to protect the galaxy from invaders, and joint research projects between civilizations began. Despite the respect she received from all sides, Lisa never grew complacent. She knew that her mission was far from over. The world still had many problems to solve, and she could not do it alone. Together with Volkra, her indispensable companion, she continued her journey, always seeking ways to build a peaceful and prosperous galaxy. However, peace in the galaxy was not easy to maintain. As planets entered this new era of peace, the first signs of new threats from the distant dark corners of the universe began to emerge. Unusual signals were detected from unexplored regions of space, places where no one dared to approach. These signals were not only strange radio waves but also traces of dark forces, never heard of before. Lisa and Volkra, with their experience from previous challenges, understood that they could not sit idly by. These threats from the dark side of the galaxy might not only threaten Earth or Zykara but all civilizations in the universe. No one knew the origin of these signals, but everyone agreed that they were not normal. When Lisa received information about these signals from the Council, she immediately decided to take action. Tense meetings followed, and eventually, the galactic leaders decided to establish a new security alliance. Lisa was entrusted with leading a special task force of warriors from various planets to investigate and deal with the new threat. "We cannot allow this threat to develop into a full-scale war," Lisa said during a meeting with representatives from many planets. "We must find the origin of these signals and deal with it before it's too late." Nabor, though still unsure of the nature of these dangers, could not deny that Lisa was the only one capable of providing stable leadership in this difficult time. He agreed to grant her command of the Allied forces. Immediately, An army of brave warriors and experts from various fields was assembled. Lisa, with the support of Volkra, prepared for the long and dangerous journey. Their goal was to reach the dark regions of the galaxy, where the strange signals had originated, to uncover what was truly hidden behind them. For Lisa and Volkra, this was not just a diplomatic or combat mission. It was a test of leadership and loyalty, as well as the ability to face great challenges that the galaxy had never encountered before. Together, they would not only face the dark forces from deep within the universe but also explore the mysteries that the galaxy had concealed. What they would discover on this journey would determine the future not only of Earth and Zykara but the entire universe. Lisa knew that, no matter how difficult the challenges ahead might be, she would never be alone. With Volkra by her side, she believed that any challenge, no matter how arduous, could be overcome. And that was the motivation to step into the new era, an era not just of peace, but of a journey filled with danger, hope, and secrets yet to be revealed.